I am going to do a video on this little book that I did as part of my extravaganza presentation at the Close to My Heart convention this summer. This is using the Hello Pumpkin line, but I'm going to do one using the boutique line. And then this one I actually sewed down the center of the pages, but I'm going to show you guys how to do it with liquid glass. So as you can see, this is a fun little, it measures 3 by 6. It's a fun little mini album. It's got some pullouts where you can journal or add additional photos. The one I'm going to do today will not have photos on it because I just haven't picked photos out, but I'm going to kind of show you how to score, cut, and adhere it down the center with liquid glass, and then give you some tips on embellishing it. So let's get started. So, sorry, I just grabbed a whole bunch of boutique stuff. So you'll want to have PML cards with you. It just makes it easier so you don't have to cut down any cardstock or B&T. Zip strips for embellishing any additional embellishments you need, as well as complements that come with whatever paper kit you're deciding to use. And then you will need 1 sheet of 12 by 12. I prefer to use the B&T, which is what I used on the Hello Pumpkin one, and it is very sturdy, so you don't have to worry about it being flimsy. It's just that way you already get the pattern on there. You don't have to worry about such plain backgrounds. And also on the pockets, you kind of have the peek through of the back side because Close to My Heart's B&T comes double-sided. So this is actually a piece of the bulk that comes with the B&T, or that comes with the boutique line, and so that's what I'm going to use. And then I'm just going to grab my score, again 12 by 12, and I think I'm going to use the polka dotted side. When you're scoring, it really doesn't matter, but I think the majority of my book is going to be the polka dotted, but I may change my mind. Anyway, so if you'll put your paper in, and you're going to want to score, let's see, if I might use this side, that's what we'll do. So you're going to score at 3 all the way down, 6 inches all the way down, and 9 inches all the way down. And then you're going to rotate it 90 degrees, and then you're just going to score at 6. So whatever sheet you use, again, you'll score 3, 6, and 9 all the way down to the bottom, and then you'll rotate 90 degrees and you'll score just at the 6 inches. And that way you have 8 3 by 6 panels, if that makes sense. So we're done with the score. And then the next thing we're going to do is just take your cutter of choice. And yes, I know mine's upside down. It's just the way I do it. And so you're going to, in your cutter, you're going to want to work on just the 6 inch. So if you'll notice, my 3, 6, and 9 are going horizontal, and then I'm working just on this 6 inch line. And you're going to line it up. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut from the 3 inch score line to the 9 inch score line. And that's all the cuts. So you've literally kind of got a hole in the middle, but you've still got this panel intact, this panel intact. And so now we're just going to kind of fold these. For right now, just fold them kind of back and forth It doesn't matter which ones are mountains or valleys or whatever you prefer to call those score lines at the moment. Okay, so I think I'm going to go ahead and use this charcoal side. So what you're going to do is you're going to kind of hold it like this, and what you want is you want those centers to go out like that, and then you want to fold on them. Does that make sense? So hold on, I'll show you again. So I had this flat like this, and there's the cut. You want these to go out like that. And then that's where your book takes shape. So now we all know that when we work with score lines, nothing is precise. That's just part of the game. So you can just go and you can just fold these back and forth just to kind of make those creases pretty prominent. And then what I like to do is I want my cover, you see how there's a pocket there and a pocket there? I like for my cover to be the one that does not have a pocket. So I'll just find one of those and I will make it the cover. This B&T actually has a slight pattern, if you can see those leaves and that little dot. So you really wouldn't, I don't think it would look bad if it was like that, but I like it like that. So again, you're going to pick a fold, because you got a whole bunch here. You're going to pick a page for your cover that is not a pocket. So I've picked that one. And then if you have to kind of fold it and kind of force it to kind of even out, that's fine. So the way it is I've got a cover with no pocket. I got a pocket up there, but no pocket on the edge. Then I've got a pocket on the edge. Then I've got this, and then I've got that. If you'll also notice, these two are flipped, which is perfectly fine on the inside. It's just the cover I would like this. The next thing is I kind of want these pockets, especially since the opening is at the bottom, I want to seal those up. So all I'm going to do is just take whatever adhesive you want. And I'm just going to run a line of adhesive down there to seal that one, and a line of adhesive on this one to seal it. Okay, so what also I'm going to do is, if you can see, there's a little piece right there and some right there. I'm going to trim that off because I'm OCD. If you're not OCD, don't worry about it. You can add a zip strip to kind of hide that. You also kind of don't want it crooked. So if by trimming that off it's going to make it too crooked, I'll show you how we can add a zip strip. Okay, so again, here's my cover with no pocket. Here is a pocket because I sealed the bottom. Here is one with no pocket, and then here is a pocket because I sealed the bottom. And then if you'll look, these have pockets up here for additional journaling or photos, tickets, I don't know, whatever you want to do with this. So the other thing that I find that is pretty easy to do, and I've just got my PML cards that I have not used yet. So the other thing that I find to decorate the center, the outside, the cover, and I'll show you, I also did one with Central Park. And so on each one of these, the cover is decorated with a PML card, and that just makes it easier. So this one is one that I trimmed down. PML card, pockets, pockets. And then this is one that is actually the 3x4. And I trimmed it just a little bit just so it could have an edge to it. So I think what I'm going to do is, I really like this one, but because of the charcoal B&T and then that, I'm going to decide not to use that. So I'm going to use Collect Moments, Not Things, PML. So I'm just going to cut this apart. And then I'm going to see how it fits on here. So that's going to fit good. So now what we're going to do is I am going to run a very thin piece. And when I say thin, so remember that this is the cover, but it has a pocket right here. So this is already 3 inches. Probably with the score, it's more like 2 3/4 already. So I want to keep the liquid glass as close to the center as possible, so I don't take up any more of that. So can you see where I put the liquid glass? I literally just put it in that fold. I'm going to do it down there, and then I'm going to attempt, because it's probably already dried, I'm going to do it in this one as well. And it doesn't have to be all the way. This liquid glass is pretty strong, and so I'm just going to add a bead right there. Can you see that in there? So it's just a tiny bit, and I'm going to fold this up there. And then I'm just going to crease. I'm going to crease on the top, and I'm going to turn around, and I'm going to crease on the back. And that is it. There's no need to sew unless you just want the look, you know, on this one, just because it's kind of spooky, stitches, Halloween. I kind of like the look of the thread. And you would have to actually sew on each page. Otherwise it doesn't, like if you were to do this, it's not going to grasp this, it's not going to grasp that page, if you know what I mean. So our liquid glass is good. As you can see, you know, you can't really get in there anymore. And then you just need to keep in mind, if you're going to make a pull out like this one, you would need to kind of remeasure it to see what the dimensions of that width are now that you've got that liquid glass in there. This one is a full one because we didn't put liquid glass there. There's a little bit of liquid glass there, but you just want to measure it and then cut it down. This is actually a PML card of 4x6, and so I just trimmed it and then backed it with B&T. And then it just fits right in there. And let me see. Each one is going to be different simply because of the score lines and how much liquid glass is used. So this one's actually 2 3/4 instead of 3 inches. And you want them to, if you're going to create interactive elements like this, you want them to freely slide in and out. So it doesn't hurt to make it, you know, much smaller than what's there. Okay, so back to this. I'm on my cover. I can tell by the little flowers are the right way up. And then I'm going to do this. So you can see that it kind of hangs over to the side. So I'm just going to trim a little bit off of here. I'm going to get my cutter to do that. So literally, I think probably a 1/16 of an inch Yeah. No, probably 1/8 of an inch from both sides, from either side, from each side. And then I've got a little white down there, so I'm going to trim that off. Again, it's probably just going to be kind of hit and miss. Each page you're going to have to decide what you want to trim. You can either center it, put it up top, put it up bottom, however you want to do it. So I think I'm going to center mine. And then one of my favorite things to do is use zip strips as washi tape. So we've got this that I really like. So all you do is you just tear an edge and then tear an edge. And see how that looks like washi? And so I kind of want that like right there probably. I don't think I need it on the bottom. So I'm going to break out the complements and see what we have that I... Ooh, I forgot that it comes with... Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to use that definitely on some inside pages. And then I don't want any words because this is pretty wordy. So actually, I think what I'll do is just to stay consistent, I'll put one down here too. And I'm going to put this one off to this side. Okay, so I've got that one kind of catty corner. I've got that one straight. Then on here, really the only photos that I would put on these would be 2x2s. I'm trying to find my 2x2 photo well. Sorry, I know y'all can't hear me. Yeah. So I've got my 2x2 photo wells. And just to add color, I'm just going to get some cardstock over here. Stuck to my table. And I'm going to, probably going to use the lighter side. So Close to My Heart's cardstock is two-tone. One side is darker than the other. I'm going to use the lighter, and I'm going to cut me several 2 1/4 by 2 1/4, and that way a true 2x2 photo can fit in there. So I'm just going to do a couple of these. I'm just going to do a spread like this and then kind of show you how to do a pocket, and then probably not finish it, and then that way you guys can finish it the way that you want it. And I would assume that you would probably have pictures in mind before you started this process. So that way you can kind of go by the pictures that you're going to be doing. Again, the reason I'm using the 2x2s is, you know, keep in mind this is only 3 inches. So, see, this is a 3x4. So, see, that's really, it would fit, and that's good to have like maybe 1 or so of those. But it's going to take up a lot of room to do it that way. So, I'm going to cut me one more 2 1/4 by 2 1/4 cardstock. Actually, I think I'm going to do it on this side. Then I'll have something fun up there. And so this just illustrates what a photo would look like once you put it there. If you prefer a white border to your photos and you don't actually get them printed with the border, if you get them printed borderless, then you could make your own white photo mats, or you can just take your 2 by 2 photo and trim it down. Probably 1/4 of an inch. That way you've got an 1/8 of an inch white border all around the edge. So I think I'm going to use this. I really like that these are squares and this is a circle. So being that I usually take sandpaper, but I don't have it with me, so I'm just going to take my micro tip scissors, and if there are any little tabs that are on these that serve the purpose of holding it to this carrier sheet, then I'm just going to trim them off. And I don't know if you can tell, but this is chipboard. And the best thing to adhere chipboard is liquid glass, or that's my preferred method. So that's what we're going to use here. And you can just loosely do that. You want to make sure that that's straight on there. And then these fun little shapes are what come with the boutique line, and these are the boutique puffies. And I'm going to use some, I just love, I'm into triangles lately. So I also love these little crosses, but I think what I'll do, no, I don't guess so. So I think I'll take these, and I'm going to take the mint cross. Actually, no, I'm going to take the yellow. I know I'm indecisive. But, we've got the mint. It's really faint, but can you see that mint color? And then, of course, we've got the darker color, and then we've got the ballerina. So I really want to bring in this. So I think I'm going to put it, I don't know, I kind of like that to make it look like it's sewn on here. But then I kind of like this. And I love these because they really can be anything. They can be X's like I'm using them here. They can be crosses. They really can be anything. So there's your first page spread. And then again, you can add whatever you want to in here. If on down the line you wanted to add that, you could. So what I'm going to do is for one of the pockets, I'm going to take this, I believe, and I'm going to trim it down, and that's going to be our pull. I'm going to create like a pull tab for it to kind of let the recipient know that they can pull it out and see what's going on in there. Just don't know how to do it. I really like. How big is this? So yeah, I may not. I may fussy cut this. Okay, I'm going to come back to that. So I'm going to make this a pull. So again, remember I said that this is probably 2 3/4. So that's what I'm going to cut this down to. This PML card is good for this type of pull-out because the back side isn't so drastic. So if I were to use this for a pull-out, then you go the back side and, you know, it's weird. So I would back that with B&T, and that's what happened with this one. The back side of this, I mean, literally the houses were sideways. So I backed it with B&T, which you can do, but it's not necessary on this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that, and then I'm going to take some of this washi, and I'm going to create a pull tab. And again, I'm digging this saffron in here. So I'm just going to cut probably 2 inches. And then I'm going to cut that in half. And then I'm going to dovetail these. And then dovetail this one. And then these are the complements, and you know, some of our complements are chipboard. These are sticky on the back, so I'm going to need to take the sticky off. And so there's various methods to that. My favorite and easiest one is just plain old baby powder. If you don't have any baby powder, or you have an aversion to baby powder, you can just back it with regular B&T, and then that'll take the sticky away. So I've created this pull tab, and again, I can either journal on it or whatever. I really wanted it that way. See if I can pull these up. Yay! It's not good. So just to make sure the sticky's still there, I'm going to apply adhesive. You could staple, you could put something across here. I'm just going to leave it. So that can go in this long pocket, and again, it kind of sticks up because remember we liquid glass down here, so it won't go all the way through. If you wanted to close that up, let's do that. Just run some adhesive down there. So now it really won't go through. So I've got that. And again, you'll just decorate these. These can also be either PMLs or pictures, whatever you would like. And then you'll just use your either leftover embellishments, compliments, puffies, whatever you'd like to use, or you can actually use it for this purpose. But I usually like to use leftovers. And so you'll just decorate these other pages as you see fit. How I was mentioning, see that white, and so you can see it. So I'm going to use a zip strip to kind of go over the edge of that. And you won't be able to see this zip strip on the other side because that's what's showing, is that white. So as long as you get it flush with that white, then you won't be able to see it on the other side. And you'll just cut that off. And there we go. And that's another pocket for pictures or whatever. And so let me show you in detail my other ones so you can kind of get some ideas. You can either pause it and decorate your own, or screenshot it. So again, this is the one, the Hello Pumpkin one that I did for convention. And so I've got a PML, I've got the zip strip, and then I've got some of the compliments. And then I just added a dovetail and the date. I've got 3 photos, and then I've got some more compliments here. I've got our new gold ribbon. This is a pop-out that tells what we did. It's kind of like journaling. And this is one of those that the PML card was very drastic on the other side, so I just backed it with B&T. All my pullouts have some sort of something on them letting you know that that's a pullout. And it's okay if these pullouts stick out, because keep in mind, this is 3 inches. By the time I added that, it's 3 1/4, and you know this is right at 3 inches or a little bit less. So it's okay if it sticks out. And then I've got 3 more photos, more compliments. That's B&T, and I used our watercolor pencils to highlight that. And then another zip strip, more compliments that I actually stamped on because the candy put her to sleep. So hocus pocus, candy put a spell on me. And then I've got my last pocket. And as you can see on this one, I did not seal those pockets. I just kind of left them open. And then this is also a journaling. This PML actually said my favorite, and so I asked the kids what their favorite candy was, and so that's what they told me. That's a compliment for goodies, and then again I created a pull tab with the new washi, and then I backed it with B&T. So there's that one as an option. And then here's the Central Park. I used an old stamp of the month. And so again, 3 photo wells, and then a compliment for journaling to put a date or whatever. That's another stamp of the month. This is a little pull tab, and I cut this PML card down so it would fit in there pretty snug. And then 2 more photo wells, and then that's a PML card, and then added a sequence, and that's a zip strip. And then this PML card I've already explained goes down in here. That's a zip strip, dovetailed staples, and then a compliment. This is just a strip of B&T, another zip strip, compliments. That is a piece of the B&T cut out and then colored with our watercolor pencils. Compliment, and can you see that little sequins, and then 2 photo wells, and then this one pulls out as well for either journaling or some more photos. And this pocket I did not seal up, but this one I did. So as you can see, it's very versatile. It only takes 1 sheet of B&T scored and cut properly, and then just leftovers of any B&T zip strips, PMLs, or compliments that you have. So it's rather easy. It would be a great workshop and definitely a great gift. If you have any questions on how to cut, score, if that wasn't clear, or adhering the pockets, just drop me a message and let me know. if you'd like to shop for any of these products or any additional products, you can check out my website at www.scrappinkatie.ctmh.com.